project your voices and be heard. So, I don't have a heads or tail thing on who goes first, but we're going to have the student trustees, which is a huge opportunity for whichever individual does get elected to represent all of the students that are in this district of about 250,000 students. So, one of the gentlemen. Oh, incident for the candidates. When you come up, please stand in front of the lectern, so it makes you a podium. But you don't have to put the microphone in your mouth. All you have to do is hold it up. You can't use the thumb trick where you just hold it out like this. There you go. Right? But I'm sure you guys are going to do a great job. All right? But make sure that people hear you. And if you don't hear them, just kind of wave your hand so that they know to speak a little louder. All right, you're going to have...
Should we silence our phones?
Please. When you've been in school all day and your phones have been ringing in class, come on, I'm going to have to fail something. All right. Last note, there is a camera, but it's only focused on the candidates, and if any of the candidates are reluctant to have their photos recorded, just let us know, and folks that are operating the camera will delete you from it. Yeah, so you're going to go first, Milo?
Is it a speech also? Or just introduce? Okay.
How are you guys doing? Well, I'm Ryan Navarrete, and I'm going for the position of student trustee of the Los Angeles Community College District. Basically, what I want to do is, in terms of advocating for you, I wanted to unite all 9 colleges, and not only just unite trade tech with East, West, and the rest of the 9. I also want to move for progress. That's my aim. My end goal is moving for progress. You know, the fact that we have to, run around, get here, get there, one forum here, one forum there. I believe, there needs to be a college hour throughout the 9 campuses, all the same. And I just overall, I want to be your representative. I want to advocate you, and I want to move for progress. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me okay without the microphone? Yes. I can just project it. Hi, my name is Milo Harold Anderson, and I am also running for the position of student trustee of the Los Angeles Community College District for 2015-2016. I can't tell you too many differences between me and Ryan on how we feel about things. We both want to unite the colleges. We want to unite Trade Tech, City, Southwest, West, East, Valley, Mission, Pierce, and Harvard. All of them, all 9. We all care about the student voice. We all want the student voice to be heard by the Board of Trustees. Board of Trustees literally makes all the policies and procedures that govern each one of our 9 colleges. Ryan and I can both do this job. So I can't really tell you where we are different. It's not like we're running against each other. It's like we're 2 friends running for the same job. And you guys are our employee, our future employee. So it's a tough decision for you, the students. Here's what I want to tell you though. No matter what, whether you vote for Ryan or you vote for me, what's really, really important is that you vote. Because if you don't vote and you don't have all of your student friends, we don't get a strong number of students who vote for either Ryan or for me, the actual election will be semi-meaningless. We won't have the student voice behind us to be your voice on the Board of Trustees. So really, it's a matter of personality. Who do you like more to represent you on the Board of Trustees, Ryan or me? And I don't want to play a personality battle with you. I think he's a great candidate. I think I'm a great candidate. I think we both do a good job. What really I want to encourage you, each of you to do, and to spread this word out there, is even if you're going to vote for Ryan, which is not a bad decision. I'm not saying it's a bad decision. No, I think it's a great decision. Just get out there and vote. And get as many students as possible as you can to vote. Again, of course I want your vote. Of course I want to win. Of course I feel like I will do a great job. So I'm going to say it one last time. My name is Milo Harold Anderson. I do hope I get your vote for student trustee. I'm looking forward to entertaining your questions. And also, if you would please, I have a Facebook page. Milo Harold Anderson. I would love it if you would like the page. I want to start a discussion about what we can start doing next year, what we can start preparing for next year. I have a survey on there, really asking what are the issues and concerns of your college. Because I don't know what the issues are of every single college. I need the students to tell me that in order to fully represent. Again, Milo Harold Anderson, thank you for being here today. Thank you for participating in Democracy on Your Campus.
So, any questions for the candidates?
Okay, so as many of I don't know if a lot of people know now, partly I'm here. So partly as a member of the LGBT community, I've been hearing a lot about all of the 93 campuses that there is extreme LGBT discrimination, and it's mostly on the fact of trans students. So many of you don't know what trans is. It's somebody who's transsexual or transgender. So I literally met with practically every member of the LGBT community in every single school, and they try to push it, try to kind of help push to fight back against the discrimination, and unfortunately nothing's happening. So what is your student trustee are going to do? Well, practically for me, so I don't face that discrimination before. Thankfully, I'm not facing here, but it's not fair that other students are facing that in other schools. So what exactly are you going to do with the LGBT students in the LACCD district?
Right, can I take that first back? Thank you very much. This is an important issue. It's a huge issue, okay? It's one that's facing the entire nation. We need to have more rights for LGBTQ and T, okay? It just needs to happen. The fact that we're still not in that situation appalls me. Personally, I feel extremely strongly about this. I am a member of the GSA on my campus, the Gay Straight Alliance. I do not recognize as homosexual or transsexual, but I do recognize as a brother to all of my people, all of my friends and family members who recognize as any kind of sexual gender that they choose. And I feel like gender needs to be an issue that is tackled and addressed. Here's what I can do. As student trustee, I want to make sure that you are getting the kind of survey results. We need to document if this is really going on, if there really is this kind of discrimination you're talking about happening system-wide. We need to get that documented. We need to document the fact that you want change. So as student trustee, what I would ask you to do is work with me to give me the information that I need so that I can win this battle for you on the Board of Trustees. But I can't do it alone. We have to have a movement to make something like this happen. It should already happen anyway, but if what you're claiming is true, we shouldn't wait any longer. We should make that movement happen. And I mean like right now. Thank you for that question.
Well, just like my colleague had mentioned, it's very important, and it's an appalling situation that's occurring, and it's not just occurring throughout the district; it's occurring everywhere. And I feel that as student trustee, not only would I be working with administration and the Board of Trustees, but I will also be working with the sheriffs. So I will be working with them in providing campus safety throughout the 9 campuses, on harassment, on anything that will harm the students in any negative way. So with that being said, there is a current resolution being brought up right now as we speak in the General Assembly, which is where all 114 colleges of California meet together and vote on different things that they feel fit that needs to be done or addressed throughout the colleges of California. And as the chair of the legislative meeting, I'll be working very closely with my committee in voting yes on the proper resolutions. And me personally, I will be advocating on your behalf to say yes and have those rules and laws written in the schools and the schools code of conduct. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so as you guys, as I'm sure there is audit that is going on. The current started with Trade Tech is going to be throughout the district. How do you guys plan on helping the ASO presidents with that said audit? And how do you guys plan to support them?
Well, how I plan to support is I want to go talk to the students who first began the audit, you know, and the person who started this movement. Talk to them. Once I know the basic rules and the logistics of why they did it, the reasoning, and so far, I want to talk to whoever wins this election, whoever gets appointed to the various executive board position, and see how we can come together as one, unite, and move for progress. Thank you.
I'm not familiar with this whole entire issue. Yeah, I'll admit that right up front. But I can tell you, as I take business communications and business classes, audits are a normal practice in business. They should happen regularly. They should definitely not be waiting until there's an issue. We should constantly be doing audits on an annual basis to make sure that the money is where it's supposed to be and not being where it's not supposed to be. Apparently that was an issue on this campus recently. I just started to learn about this issue. And I think my best answer to you is that it shouldn't have gotten this bad in the first place. If there were proper audits in place, if the current administration, if the current student trustee, and the current organizations were doing their regular audits and knowing how much money they had in their bank accounts, we wouldn't have gotten to the point of $17,000 in missing money that is in the wrong place. I don't see how that could have happened so drastically. But then again, I don't fully understand the issue. I don't know all the details behind it. So the best thing I can say is all I can do is learn more about it and be there to support my ASO presidents, my current administrations, and fixing whatever problems that have developed in administrations prior to them coming to office. And I'll stand behind them every single time.
Yeah, specifically, what is the biggest issue of local 9? What needs to be progressed with the most? What's wrong with it?
All right. So for me, primarily, my two primary goals is campus safety. You know, here at Trade Tech, we've had a few campus threats. You know, I was there on the day of dialogue advocating for you as Commissioner of Student Advocacy. So I feel that I need to work very closely with all of that administration and sheriffs and making sure that all 9 campuses are there being safe. Also including public transportation. There's districts outside of Los Angeles that have reduced tap cards for students, and I personally feel that, you know, we are the district, we are the largest district, not only in the nation, but in the entire world. We, the students of Los Angeles, are in need. We're in need. You know, majority of our financial aid, a majority portion of that financial aid goes to just public transportation, just on the bus. You know, I take the bus to and from school every day and every night. You know, I don't even know how much money I've accumulated spent on just getting here to get into school so I can learn. I feel that I need to bring that resource here and throughout the 9 campuses. And I plan to work very, very closely with both the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Great question, and I'll give you the honest answer. I don't know. I really don't know. You know why? Because there isn't communication and transparency between the ASOs and the Board of Trustees. There isn't the level of dialogue that there should exist where students actually know what policies are being implemented by the Board of Trustees and that student voice is actually being heard on the Board of Trustees. It's written into Article 2 of the Board of Trustees documentation that basically they're supposed to get student input about the issues and the policy decisions that affect the students. I don't see that happening. At least it doesn't seem to happen on the campuses that I polled. And that their voice, there is a disconnect. There's no upline or downline communication. And that's my biggest issue that I want to tackle, is to create that conversation between the students and the administration of the district. So that way we can actually have impact on the policy changes as they're happening. And we can also essentially know when policy changes are going to affect us, when policy changes are going to either help us or hurt us. So we know what our Board of Trustees is actually doing. I don't see that happening. Now, as far as figuring out what the issues are with the 9 colleges and dovetailing right into that, I propose surveys. surveys, 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 surveys. I want my ASOs to be out there asking their students on their campus, what are the issues that concern them the most? Because that's really what matters, and that's what ASOs, ASUs, and ASGs are there for, is to represent the students, so that I can represent the students on the Board of Trustees. I can tell you what I think the most important issues are, but that's not really me doing my job. Doing my job would be soliciting the advice, the concerns, the real issues that are going on to all the 9 colleges, and not assuming the fact that I know what the solution is or what the problem is. I can't tell you what the problem is on Trade Tech. I can maybe tell you what the problem is at Pierce College, but it wouldn't really be their problem if I didn't ask them to give me that feedback. It would just be what Milo thinks the problem is, and I don't want to be that kind of student trustee. I want to be the kind of student trustee that actually brings the concerns, the issues, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the students, what they want to see happen, what they want to see change on each one of the 9 colleges. I want to bring that to the Board of Trustees, not what I think. Not what I think the problem is. It's a great question. Thank you for asking it, because that's really primarily what I feel defines how the student trustee should behave.
Any additional questions for the 2 candidates? Yes.
How are each of you going to make it so that students who want to know more about Board of Trustee meetings or what's happening, like how can they find out more if they want to find out more but don't have time to attend meetings?
I'll take it. Okay.
So, about attending meetings, basically what I want to do is, have the secretary there, make sure all minutes are recorded, and have it sent to all ASUs, ASOs, ASGs, and just have it out there for everyone, let them know, have it, social media, everyone tends to have it, so, an Instagram page, Facebook page, Twitter, whatnot, have it, there's student emails, so what I can do is speak with David Yesias here on Trade Tech, and have him email the minutes for the Board of Trustees to every student, and then I can talk to that person at every campus to show that every student can get involved and be a part of the community. Thank you.
Great question. And that's exactly what I am really concerned about, is making sure that students are actually interested in what's going on in the Board of Trustees and in the Student Affairs Committee. I feel like that's my primary job as a student trustee, would be to get students involved in the policy decision makers, and why they're making the decisions they're making, and are they hearing the student voice in making those decisions. The minutes and the agendas are already out there online. All you have to do is go to LACCD.org, and you can see the minutes of all the board meetings, of all the Student Affairs Committee meetings. They're out there. Students aren't reading it. So, what I'd like to do, and again, this is not a campaign promise, this is a campaign desire, but I would like to take my knowledge and my skills. I actually have a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism, and I know a little bit about podcasting, and I know a little bit about recording audio. I would like to record and stream live these meetings so that anyone and everyone can listen to these meetings while they're going on. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a whole bunch of fight back of that idea. However, according to the Brown Act, these meetings are public information. So I don't see why we can't do it. The thing what I would need, though, is first of all, I would need students to say that's something they want, and students to really listen to it, and really start a dialogue on what's going on at the Board of Trustees, what's going on at the Student Affairs Committee. If we can generate interest in what's happening at the Board of Trustees and in the Student Affairs Committee, in the students of all 9 colleges, that would be huge win number 1. Because that's what we need to actually impact the kind of change I'm talking about, the kind of the kind of impact that we can make as over 100,000 students in the district can make on the Board of Trustees. They wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us. We give them their jobs. Literally, everyone their jobs. Everyone, the unions, the teachers, the administrators, none of them would be here, having their jobs if it wasn't for us taking our classes, working hard. So, let's use that voice. Let's actually listen to what they're talking about, what decisions they're trying to make, and make sure that those decisions are in line with what we want on all of our 9 colleges. Thank you.
parting questions? We're going to switch gears and go to local elections here at Trade Tech. Great. So we have 3 candidates here. And thank you, Student Trustee candidates, for your candor and the conversation. We have 3 candidates here, and we're going to give each one of them 2 minutes to share their statement, do a little history about who they are, and possibly why they're running for the particular office. We have 2 candidates running for student body president, so we'll start there and move on with the remaining candidate that's here, the vice president. Rick?
Hello, my name is James Gooden. I'm running for student body president. The reason that I'm running is because I see a disconnect between the students and the ASO. I see a disconnect between the clubs and the ASO. I believe that before we can move forward and address any concerns that we have with the administration, that first we must come together collectively to make sure that any changes that we want to introduce take place. I think that the ASO needs a breath of very fresh air, and I think that I'm the man for the job. Thank you.
Very good.
Hi everyone, my name is Sierra Gibson and I'm running for ASO president. Currently I am the ASO parliamentarian, means I know the rules of student government, the rights of the students here at school, and it is my job to enforce them. I'm running for ASO president because I feel that as a collective body we need to stand in solidarity so that we can get the benefits that the students deserve, that they need. You need to get these students to where they need to go in life. And that's just transferring, whether they need associate's degrees, certificates. We need to help them, especially those who use these specific programs here at Trade Tech's campus. How many of you are EOP&S students? Basically, with EOP&S, we can help you get book grants. Government was thinking about cutting 40% of that in 2008, and they did. Now we're trying to fight to get that 40% back. That's one of the things that I am trying to help the students get. So I plan on hoping for you guys' votes this coming Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you.
Any questions for the 2 candidates?
So, okay, so me just knowing about a little bit about ASO, being the president does not mean that you make decisions. Actually, the president doesn't make any decisions. They are the face of the board. So how are you going to handle something if your board or your team makes a decision that you may not particularly agree with, but you still have to be their face?
Well, the very first thing that I would do, I would try to get the parties together. Then I would, whatever what the majority decided to do, I would have to go along with, because as you just mentioned, I merely would be the face. I would hope that whatever the decision that they would make, that it would include something that would be beneficial for the students.
That's a very good question. So I understand the fact that the president position in the ASO does not have a vote. However, I am allowed to make suggestions. This isn't about the Sierra Gibson and the board show. This is about us standing together as a student council. We hear each other's opinions every single day. And it's up to us to come to a collective decision. If the board has something that they want to vote on, that they are passionate about, I I will go along. I will stand with my board.
Yes, question.
Okay, so most of the time, a lot of people don't realize that when you're part of the ASO, you're a part of a board like a company. And a lot of the times, people don't understand that the ASO is an actual company, it has actual business, it has an actual budget. So most of the time, a lot of people won't get the idea that you're actually handling all these people's money. People won't get that. So how would you? It's like a two-part question. I just wanted to say it, but how would you kind of explain to the student body that you're not here to mess around because you're literally handling other people's money, and B, how as a board would you guys work? You know what? Forget the second part. Just let's answer the first part. How would you guys explain to the student body that you're going to handle other people's money, and that it's a serious game? It's not something that you can just fool around in here and think that you can steal money.
Well, the first thing that I would do, that I would explain to them, that we have certain rules and we have certain procedures that we have to follow. Second of all, I would let them know that things are done here according to a vote, and that would be the majority rule. I would also explain to them that the funds that we have are limited, but in the same sense that I would also let them know that we're here to achieve one goal, and that goal is to make sure that these students get instruction properly. If they need tutors, I want to see that they have that. Whatever it is that they need, I want to make sure that the ASO board strives to make sure that they have it.
Being a part of the ASO, I understood from the beginning, it's all about transparency. What we have to offer in our bylaws is a budget and finance committee. My strategy will be to encourage students to come there and realize the structure of how the money is broken down so that you get information about where this money goes, about what it's being spent on, where is it coming from, who can benefit from it. It's all about transparency. So the best thing I can do is make sure that these students have information about the budget and finance committees and that they attend.
My question is, considering that these are the candidates that we have, there's going to be an abundant amount of positions that need to be filled for this board, and I feel like that's something that no one has talked about yet. So I keep hearing what you guys are promising to do, but I don't hear a team effort or any kind of voting backed up behind it. What will be your screening process for selecting appointed members for this board? Because I feel like you should pick someone qualified, and you should make sure whoever you pick is actually in it for the right reasons.
Now, to be honest with you, I'm very, very passionate about students learning, and the first thing that I would do, I understand that the president will be able to choose his treasurer. And before I make that choice, I'm going over there to the accounting department, and I'm going to get a recommendation from the chair over there about their top 5 students, and then I would do a process to interview them. Now, as far as some of the other positions, I plan to pick some of those, or perhaps offer some of those jobs to some of the people that I've been involved in, that I see that have the same passion that I have, that are currently in the ICC.
When it comes to appointing members, we have to look at who's qualified. That being said, we have to look at those who have a history within this organization. Those who have directly worked with administrators, especially pertaining to treasury. We have to look at someone who has understood the the information that was given to them and has worked with it officially. So now when it comes to dealing with positions other than treasurer, I would like to work with someone who's willing to have that knowledge and expand on it. Someone who's willing to go above and beyond for our students and not for themselves. As well, I want to look at someone who's going to take this board to the next level and bring their opinions so that it can help us grow as a unit. We are going to be one board. We are going to be one voice. So we have to stand in solidarity.
Okay, what will you do to, there used to be a newspaper here, Trade Tech newspaper. What will you do to revive that newspaper?
Well, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I already know for a fact that the administration will not release any funds to start a newspaper, but the next best thing I think would be to do is start a newsletter. And I'm all in favor of that. This, first of all, the question that you asked, Gabby's a girl about. Half the things that we try to get done now, the administration says that they don't have the funds. And I'm going to be honest with you, I already know that is a no-go. So I would, instead of trying to get a newspaper started, like I said, the next best thing would be to get a newsletter started.
As far as the newsletter is concerned, I have looked through the old traditions of how Trade Tech used to have a newsletter and how efficient that was on campus and how it was very, very, very important to the historical memory of Trade Tech. So, I would love to bring the newsletter back. I would love to bring the newspaper back. We need to work with our future historian and our future board and any future Trade Tech students who are involved in visual communications or in that type of journalism to see if they have a passion for it. Because if we don't have students that have a passion for it, why would we bring it back?
Okay, so one of the main things that I noticed on this current board was a couple of people literally just spewed some random rules thinking that it was like legal and it was actually correct when it was actually not. So how will you try to make sure that everybody on your board knows Brown Act, knows Robert's Rules of Orders, knows especially SREGs, because anything financially is under the SREGs. It supersedes all of our stuff. How would you make sure that everybody gets, information? And ECHO. We cannot forget ECHO.
Now, from my understanding of that, starting in June, they're going to have some classes that will go right to what you just mentioned.
As your current parliamentarian, I already have information on Brown Act, Education Code, and SREGs. So bringing on a new board, I already have the knowledge that I can pass down. And we will actually take time and do training for our new members so that they don't come in blindsided about what the rules are. This is an organization. You have to know the rules and regulations which you are governed by. So that would be one of my first priorities with this new board.
So on our campus, we have a problem with student participation, not necessarily their fault, but how can you gain more student participation?
Well, if I'm elected president, very first thing that I'm going to have in the first couple of weeks, I'm going to have to call a meet and greet, where that the students of this council will be able to meet the entire board.
So, in order for students to get more informed about the ASO, we need to have more of a public forum every month. So that not only we can introduce who we are, but that we can keep them updated on what we are doing, how they can be involved what we are doing.
Yes. There's a lot of talk about transparency and openness in student government. 2 points I'd like to make. I believe at the last student council meeting, the meeting was held without actually having a quorum. And that was, I believe, on the 3rd of April. And then on the 6th, that was the Monday after we were let out for spring break. On the 6th of April, there was a meeting dealing with the budget, dealing with the audit and the report. And I felt it was kind of strange that that meeting would happen after we were all let out for the student break, for the spring break. My question is, with all this talk about openness and transparency, what would either one of you do that's not the same old status quo, not the same old stuff?
Well, I just would like to say this, as far as the meeting that was concerned that happened on the 6th, that was out of our control. Now, what I would ask that the administration do is that they at least give us 72 hours before they have a meeting of such magnitude.
So when it comes to gaining our students more information about our meetings, I offer parliamentary training. If you have a question about the quorum of the meeting, please see me afterwards. When it comes to the audit meeting, like he stated before, that was out of our control, literally out of our hands. And we are as outraged as you are. So when it comes to that, we have to stand together and let administration know that we deserve the right to know when this meeting is happening. This has to do with the students. So why are you trying to keep the students out the dark? In the dark, excuse me.
So going back again to like the fact that we are kind of money, a lot of people don't understand that ASO is their own actual legal entity. You are on your own. You are a part of the school, but you're on your own. So the thing is, you can possibly mess up pretty big to the point that possibly you can go to jail. Are you guys comfortable with that idea that possibly if you do mess up pretty big, you can go to jail? Are you comfortable with that idea?
I sincerely believe that if you surround yourself with strong individuals, that won't occur.
Being ASO president and being a part of the board means you need to be a student leader. You need to take whatever comes your way, and you need to stand up and fight for your students. There are things that happen, but you're a leader. You chose this position for a reason, meaning you chose the responsibilities that come with it.
Well, I just want to make a note to the audience, we do have one more candidate, so I do have to give him time, even though he's all by himself. But you may have a ton of questions for it, so just keep in mind, I'm going to take 2 last questions, because I saw 2 hands. Start with Andre, and then Brian.
Since we just had a question about the audit, now I have a question about the audit. Okay, so when do you guys plan, how do you guys plan on getting the word out once we're allowed to give out the word for the audit? What do you plan on doing to let the students know the results?
You know what, I wanted to tell you something. That's a very, very good question, and I thought about that numerous times. First and foremost, I think that it's my right to let the students know what transpired, but I would like to let them know in a timely fashion, based upon the fact that the first thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to the board to see what they think that we need to do in response to whatever goes down tomorrow at the meeting at Harvard College.
I would like to have a public forum so that all students can participate and get to know what the history of this school is, because it's not all good. They need to know what is going on in the backgrounds so that they can step up and make a change as well.
Yeah, so from whoever is elected for student trustee and whoever is elected for president, how do you plan on working with the student trustee along with going to the student affair meetings, which are once a month, and bringing any and all attentions that's needed that's happening on your campus to the student affairs committee meeting?
I just want to tell you that I think that was one of the best questions that you asked. First and foremost, what I would like to do is I'd like to keep my trustee appraised of all things that go on at our campus. Second of all, I would hope that the dialogue would be such that he and I will be able to share what we think that is best for the school.
So, I would like to invite the student trustee to attend our ASO meetings. That's one of the things that will definitely help them see the workings of our student council as it is, basically working with them and also attending the academic affairs meeting. So I would love to attend that and work with all presidents of the LA9. Because I feel that not only will that help the student trustee, but that will help the individual presidents on their campus.
Maybe you can intertwine your question with the next candidate who is running for vice president. So we're going to have the vice president candidate come up and share with us his perspective, and then we'll open up the floor for questions.
Good evening, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Charles Green. I'm actually the current ICC co-chair right now. And I was the Adams Club president for 4 semesters. And the ASO Senator of Transportation. Right now, I'm running because we need to get the ASO back to the students. You know, ASO belongs to the students, it doesn't belong to us. You know, and we need to get out there more, that way the students know, hey, this is ASO, we can go over there and, see what we can get, and also start working on getting them some benefits for their $7. Because right now, you ain't really getting nothing, you know what I'm saying? So we need to start working on that.
You might as well stay there, and we'll entertain questions for Mr. Green.
Yes.
You mentioned Adam Club and ICC. Can you tell me a little bit more about your experience with clubs, talking to other clubs, like within ICC and like outside of the ICC?
Well, as you know, this is my first semester with the ICC, because when I was the president of the Adams Club, I didn't have to deal with the ICC. So now being the Adams Club ICC rep, I am the co-chair. So dealing with the clubs right now it's kind of hard because, as you notice, our vice president isn't here. So I guess I'm acting as co-chair and chair right now. So I'm doing a little bit of everything. As far as the Adams Club, I put on several car shows and did several fundraisers, from 2013 all the way to 14. So I am adamant about clubs raising their own money instead of coming in crying about, hey, we don't have this. So.
Another question?
think Mo had his hand up before you.
Sorry. Let's see. Is it okay if I ask you?
You can ask me whatever you want. Mo. Just don't ask me out on a date.
Well, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Who would you appoint or encourage to have elected as ICC co-chair if you were elected?
Who would I encourage? Be truthful. I would want somebody that I know I can work with hand in hand, because whoever it is, I want them to be able to work with me when I say, okay, hey, I'm going to go to the ASO meeting. I can leave them in charge, and I have enough trust in them to know that we're on the same page. Person, there's only one person really right now, and that's Harold. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm being truthful. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Harold's gonna go after it and he's gonna get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, because the rest of the current executive board, they're lacking, a little bit there. So
That's okay.
but I still like you, Mo.
That's okay. We're gonna go together.
Let's not turn it into the Mo campaign.
Everybody knows that the vice president is supposed to basically make sure that the clubs are okay. But what a lot of people don't know is that the vice president is also the person who makes sure that daily tasks are being done in the office. They are actually the enforcer and making sure that everybody's doing their job. How do you feel? How come you feel having to tell your peers and your friends and your whomever that they're not doing their job or that they need to do certain things?
I don't have a problem doing it at all, because as everyone know, I'm a very outspoken person. You know what I'm saying? I might say something to you, but I'm gonna go turn around and say it to that person that I was talking about also. That's me. As far as this, ASO is a business, so we're gonna run it like a business. Friendships, we can do that outside the door, you know what I'm saying? But when we get in there, it's like we gotta take care of business.
Yes.
I see some kids.
So, everybody knows that possibly one of the hardest jobs is to follow as treasurer than VP. How do we manage very different, complex, and diverse personalities you're going to find in ICC?
I've been dealing with complex attitudes since I took over the Adams Club in 2012. So, and there's very multiple different attitudes that are still right now today. So I've been, and me being who I am, a lot of people don't know I'm a youth minister. So I deal with youth. I also deal with other members of my church. And there's different attitudes there every day, So as far as dealing with different personalities, I don't see it being an issue, because I know how to approach each person or approach each situation differently.
So we have 5 minutes. And what I'd like to do at this point is give each of the 5 candidates a minute for a closing statement to the audience. All right. So we'll start with the trustees.
Well, I'm just gonna speak out like here. Basically, my slogan is Los Angeles 9 United for Progress. I have to speak with every president at every college and make sure that we're all on the same page. As soon as we're all on the same page, we're able to unite and be one team. I personally, I play football. It's like I'm the quarterback and they're the lineman. We have to group up, huddle up and aim in order to get to the touchdown. You know, that's basically the goal. We have to progress on what the students need and what the students want. Thank you.
Thank you, Trade Tech. You guys have been excellent folks. It's been a pleasure being here, visiting you both morning and night, and I had a great time speaking with so many students here on this campus. My name is Milo Harold Anderson, and I didn't play football, but I still want to be your student trustee next year in 2015, 2016. I see myself not as a quarterback. I see myself as someone who can empower you, the students of all 9 community colleges, to get the things done that you want to get done. I'm not here for personal accolade. I'm not here to score the touchdown. I'm here to make the changes that you want to see happen next year actually become a reality. Nelson Mandela once said, nothing is impossible. Everything seems impossible until it's actually done. Let's get some really important things done next year in our community college district. Not just one college, but all 9 colleges working together to create the change we want to see. Thank you again. My name is Milo Harold Anderson, your candidate for student trustee.
Hello, my name is James Goodness, LACCD Trustee. I have a passion for the students on this campus. As we can see, it's a big disconnect. You can look amongst yourself now. We have less than 15 students here, and we're 15,000 strong. What I would like to do is bring the club together, bring the students together, and collectively we'll be able to achieve something.
So, my name is Sierra Gibson. As I stated before, I am running for ASO president. We are the students. It doesn't matter if there's 15 here or 15,000. The only thing it takes is one voice to awaken the sleeping giant in someone else. I want to be that voice. I want to come together with the students so that we can get what we deserve and what we need to be successful. We stand in solidarity. We are LA Trade Tech.
I want to say both president candidates, good luck. It doesn't matter which one of y'all that, I'm willing to work with whoever. And, let's get it done.
I want to take a moment just to thank you for coming out. It may seem daunting that there are not a lot of people, but there was this guy named Jesus, and it was only 12 people that he worked with, and now you see what can be done with a small group of people. So, I want to encourage each and every one of you to get out and vote and ask somebody to come with you when you do vote. I think one of the candidates mentioned it earlier. One of the things that the trustees and any body is looking for is the number of people that do participate in the voting process. The fewer people that participate, the more they kind of condescend that you're really not representing the whole body. You are representing those who do vote and those who don't vote. But the more people that do vote, the stronger your voice as an elected candidate will be. So I want to encourage all of us to encourage more people to participate in the voting process. All right, the candidates will probably be here for a little while longer. I'll get the hell out of here. It's 7 o'clock. No, I'm just kidding. So, you guys can mingle with them and ask some additional questions, but the forum is concluded and the voting starts tomorrow.